Welcome to Flashback, the program that takes you back to the most legendary moments in sporting history. Today's episode, we tell you a success story, that of a kid on the streets of Athens who beat all the odds to become the best basketball player in the world. A true fairy tale. The amazing epic of the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So we're taking our trusty time machine back to New York's Barclays Center on this June 28, 2013. Are you ready? Let's go! Giannis's NBA adventure began, like so many others, on the night of his draft. The ceremony has been underway for some time now. The most eagerly awaited prospects, led by Anthony Bennett, have already found takers. At the call of the 15th pick, from the Milwaukee Bucks, David Stern takes a long breath. In the course of his immense career, the old commissioner has seen thousands of young basketball players, future Hall of Famers, but also one-night celebrities. Some with wacky names.
Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, Scott Pippen.
Others with exotic sounds.
Dirk Nowitzki, Yao Ming from Shanghai, China.
This one has the particularity of being as interminable as it is difficult to pronounce. Giannis Antetokounmpo. To avoid any mistakes, the New Yorker decided to go at his own pace, syllable by syllable.
Giannis Antetokounmpo from Athens, Greece. He last played for Fil Atletikos in Greece.
The result is approximate, but never mind. The NBA world will have plenty of time to familiarize itself with the name. When the verdict is announced, the public's reaction is mixed. Shy, but not icy. And yet, behind the scenes, several front offices were secretly eyeing up the young Greek. Among those interested were the Raptors, and above all, the Hawks. To maximize their chances of obtaining him, Atlanta even traded 2 of their picks for the 16th choice. So much effort to lose out on a priority spot. Just goes to show, a franchise's destiny depends on little. At the time, Giannis was a risky bet. An equation with multiple unknowns. A player in whom to invest time, energy, and money, with no guaranteed return on investment. The kind of profile that franchises dread. But the Bucks don't have much choice. Milwaukee is far from an attractive market, and the team is about to lose Brandon Jennings, its franchise player, in a dispute with management. If you're going to rebuild, you might as well bank on potential. Giannis has plenty of potential. Tall, slender, and with fingers longer than Kawhi Leonard's, the Greek is a physical phenomenon like few others. Even in the NBA, no problem there. His basketball skills, on the other hand, are open to debate. Giannis discovered basketball late in life. All in all, he doesn't even have 6 years of practice under his belt. Too little to hope to master the fundamentals. And galaxies separate the NBA from the Greek second division. To succeed in the big league, being well-built or drafted in the first round isn't enough. But Giannis is well aware of that. It's the chance of a lifetime, the chance to offer his family a better future, and he's determined to seize it. It's the end of the 20s. The financial crisis is hitting the old continent hard. Greece is one of the main victims. Its public debt is becoming unmanageable, forcing the IMF and the European Union to implement a policy of austerity. Public services closed down one by one. Inflation soared, and unemployment reached record levels. Long marginal far-right parties such as the neo-Nazis of Optore and the ultra-conservatives of the Orthodox People's Alert entered parliament. Xenophobia took to the streets. Foreigners became targets. They are reviled and beaten up without the police being able to intervene. It was in this poisonous climate that an undocumented Nigerian by the name of Giannis Antetokounmpo tried to escape. His parents, both former professional athletes, left Lagos a few years before he was born. He is the third of 5 sons, the first to be born in Greece. Along with his brothers, he grew up in the working-class district of Sepolia, northeast of Athens. At night, Giannis stays barricaded in his house to avoid muggings. During the day, he helps his father and sells counterfeit goods on the city's tourist sites. The Antetokounmpo family lives in fear of being evicted, not getting enough to eat, or meeting the wrong people. It's them against the rest of the world. It was during this period that Giannis and his eldest son Thanasis discovered basketball. A bit by chance? Naturally very athletic, the two teenagers did not go unnoticed. The Philathleticos coach invited them to join his club, which plays in the 2nd division. Barely 4 years later, Giannis joined the first team. But then, everything accelerated. His performances brought him to the attention of several NBA scouts. He obtained Greek nationality and changed his name, Antetokounmpo. It was the start of a meteoric trajectory that would propel Giannis to the pinnacle of world basketball. His first steps on big league floors were discreet. Game after game, he picked up a few minutes and eventually made his way into the Bucks' rotation, where he shone above all thanks to his defensive qualities. His rookie year completely transformed him. He grew from 6'4" to 6'11", topped the 100 kg mark, and sported the shoulders of a mover without losing his mobility. Giannis was already impressive. Now he's monstrous.
Middleton, a three-point look. It's up. It's no good. Jam down! And a shot blocked by Giannis. The long arm of the law. The alphabet got him. Giannis down the line and slams it! Whoa, my goodness, look out below!
Giannis is staying body to body, and that leads to the steal. Staying body to body with Marcus.
After forging the physique of a Greek god, Antetokounmpo continued to progress during his sophomore season.
Absolutely stuffed it up and down. On the deck, Giannis from within that. How about that? As the dunk jam, Mayo, beautifully done. Brandon Knight and the foul by Giannis. 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 Yes.
1, 2.
A year later, Giannis accepted a contract extension worth $100 million over 4 years. He had fulfilled his mission. His family is now safe for good. But the young Greek did not let up. During the 2016-2017 fiscal year, Giannis surpasses expectations and transitions from a respected defender to a standout two-way player. Despite his poor shooting, he is majorly aiding the attack. His long segments, coupled with his power, make him unstoppable on penetration. He takes responsibility, scores abundantly, and makes his teammates play. His mere presence forces opposing teams to adapt. The general public really became aware of his immense potential.
And the 2017 Kia NBA Most Improved Player is...
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
At the end of his breakout season, Giannis is logically voted Best Progression of the Year. It's the birth of the Greek freak. Now an all-star, Antetokounmpo has turned a corner. With Jabari Parker's repeated injuries, the number 34 has naturally established himself as the Bucks franchise player. He has found a loyal lieutenant in Chris Middleton, another player who, like him, has completely flown under the radar. Milwaukee is doing everything in its power to capitalize on this unlikely duo. After several failures in the first round of the playoffs, the Bucks fired Jason Kidd, who had been very close to Giannis, to replace him with Mike Budenholzer, Coach of the Year in 2015 with the Hawks. The Bud effect was immediate. In the wake of a Giannis Wilt Chamberlain-esque, Milwaukee ripped off everything in its path.
Taking a lot of threes and making a lot of threes in his last 2 seasons. Speaking of Giannis Antetokounmpo against Delville. There's often going to be... He can do that in traffic, too. Forget about the one-on-ones. He can beat 4.
3 straight for Lopez, and here comes showtime. Antetokounmpo with the hammer.
From 7th the previous year, the franchise finished first at the end of the regular season. A performance that earned the Greek Freak the title of MVP. In Wisconsin, we haven't seen that since a certain Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In the playoffs, the Bucks made it all the way to the conference finals. Up against Kawhi Leonard's Raptors, they won the first 2 games. The finals are in their sights, but the pressure may be too much. Toronto strings together 4 consecutive victories to the title.
They're off the bench to celebrate.
The defeat was hard to take, but Giannis isn't the type to let it get to him. The Greek Freak comes back even stronger, flying over the pandemic-shortened season. He won the MVP back-to-back. Proof of his dominance on both sides of the court, he also took the title of Defender of the Year, joining Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan in the exclusive club of players to have won both awards in the same season. In the bubble, the Bucks are the favorites for the title, but not everything went according to plan. Faced with a Miami Heat in the second round of the playoffs, Milwaukee fell on a bone. Erik Spoelstra completely outcoached Mike Budenholzer, who was powerless to stop the Floridians' anti-Giannis plan. With an ankle injury sustained during the series, the 2-time MVP watched from the bench as his team suffered a debacle.
That's it. The Milwaukee Bucks lose. The best team in the NBA is gone. And the Miami Heat going to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 6 years.
For many observers, this defeat sounded the death knell for the Bucks project. Some criticize Giannis's leadership qualities, while others point to the weakness of his supporting cast. Without financial flexibility, the franchise seems to have reached an impasse. Its franchise player is at the end of his contract, and many are already speculating about his future. He is rumored to be off to his Heat tormentor, or to LA to form a monstrous super team alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But this is to misunderstand the Greek champion. Giannis Antetokounmpo is not the type to jump ship in the middle of a storm. Ever since he was drafted, Giannis has had a special relationship with the city of Milwaukee. He feels indebted to the city that gave him his chance. Naturally good-natured, the Greek has made a huge commitment to the community. More than just a fan favorite, he's a local hero. Milwaukee is where his family lives. It's even where his father is buried. Oh no, Giannis Antetokounmpo isn't the type to betray his family. On December 15, 2020, he put an end to the rumors by re-signing for 5 years and $288 million, the biggest contract in history at the time. The front office gets busy and brings in Jerome Holiday, another vengeful underdog to support him. However, the regular season is not as brilliant as the previous ones. The Greek Freak is still dominant, but the team, shaken up by the arrival of a new point guard, struggled to find its automatisms. On the eve of the playoffs, the Bucks are far from favorites, especially as a new super team has taken hold in the East. The Nets of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. To go all the way, Giannis has no choice. He'll have to decapitate the three-headed Hydra. New York Stars versus Wisconsin underdogs. The long-awaited clash takes place in the Conf semifinals. Brooklyn quickly takes the lead. Fortunately, the Greek is not alone. A leader by example, he galvanizes his troops. Chris Middleton transcends himself and forces a Game 7 in Brooklyn. The final game is a knife-edge affair. An epic, almost unreal duel ensues between Giannis and Kevin Durant. The two best allies in the world, acquired versus innate, unwavering loyalty versus carnivorous opportunism, the outsider versus the chosen one.
Off the step, sets it up for Giannis. Beautiful pass and the foul. 2 minutes and 45 seconds as Giannis goes to the rim and draws the foul. Durant racing to the bucket and scores. 106.
6 seconds left to play. Milwaukee leads by 2 points. After one last poorly negotiated possession, the Bucks give KD the match point. The Snake asks no questions and shoots.
He shoots. Yes! With 1 second remaining. 1 second.
3 points. The series is over. Unless, as the madness takes over the room, the referees have a doubt. The video confirms it. The shot is only worth 2 points. Durant bites the line from a Snake tip. Size 54, a few millimeters of weight. Because at the end of overtime, it's Giannis and his team who emerge victorious. An immense feat. Fate finally smiles on Milwaukee, but not for long. In the conference final, the worst-case scenario becomes reality. Giannis injures his knees, and the verdict is cruel. Unavailable for the rest of the series. Despite the loss of their captain, the Bucks rallied. He has carried them on his broad shoulders for so long. Now it's up to them to give it back. Milwaukee gets the better of the two soft Eagles and qualifies for its first finals since the end of the series. An eternity. Last opponent, the surprising Suns duo of Devin Booker and Chris Paul. For the latter, this may well be the last chance to be banded. Phoenix takes the first 2 games at home. But Giannis isn't one to give up. He never has been. The Greek Freak sounds the revolt in Game 3. Middleton and Holiday join in.
Middleton back to Holiday. Inside.
Unity is strength. Game 4. A Dantesque showdown. Entering the home stretch, Phoenix is within 1 possession of the Bucks. Booker sends Eaton into orbit. Giannis takes off and counters.
Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis. This building is shaking.
Milwaukee takes the psychological lead. This ascendancy was reflected 2 days later in money time, when, after suffering a heroic Suns comeback, Drew Holiday snatched the ball out of Booker's hands. He sends Giannis to 7th heaven. But this time, no one is there to stop him.
Phoenix has to foul, and Antetokounmpo throws it down! And a foul! Giannis on the alley-oop.
The Bucks are just 1 win away from the title. This is it, July 20 of the year 1021 at Milwaukee's Feather Forum. The city is abuzz with excitement, ready for a night of madness. Giannis is about to play the most important match of his career. Impervious to pressure, the Greek freak starts off strong. Unfortunately, his teammates are in a tough spot. Hands trembling, success eludes them. Against them, the Arizonan team recites its basketball and stays level despite the Greeks' domination. A real drag match. The Bucks bend, but don't give in.
The finish! Giannis does it again!
Holiday inside, Antetokounmpo lays it up and in. Once the game comes out of nowhere and throws it off the backboard. Giannis down the other end, he backs it home.
Jumper. And that in the paint jumper for Antetokounmpo, 17 points.
An 18-point turnaround.
Antetokounmpo gets inside.
Game 5, one of the best games of his life.
Antetokounmpo gets the roll.
Bridges running the floor.
Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo puts up the one-hander. Shot is good.
Does it again.
49.
Points. Only the 7th player in the history of the finals to have a 50-point game. It's over. The Bucks have done it. The long wait has ended. After a half-century, the Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions once again.
The Bucks are NBA champions. The crowd erupts in joy, but Giannis remains unmoved. With confident steps, he heads for his clan. And it's there, in the arms of his loved ones, that he finally realizes. In his head, images jostle. He sees himself as a child in the streets of Athens. He thinks back to such a difficult time, to all the ordeals he has been through, that made him the man he has become. A simple man, kind and humble. A man who has never forgotten where he came from. Like a symbol, he won this title in the company of his teammate and brother, Thanasis, the man with whom it all began. Giannis can finally let his joy explode in the company of his family. In the Antetokounmpo family, nothing is more important than family.
What is your goal for your career?
I want to be an NBA player. Giannis Antetokounmpo from Athens, Greece. He last played
Middleton.
I saw that every day in my life. I saw that, you know, and this is for my mom. She worked extremely hard every day for me to be in this position. That she never pressured me to do other things. This is for my dad, that he's watching from above and he can see it, you know, and for my brothers.